Who is her pop that they got to keep on, taking these moments where we can see him? Because we could have saw him when we first encountered the betas when they first
Yeah.
came on the thing for whatever that was. There was so it's opportunity after opportunity. So who is this girl daddy? That's what I want to know. Who's her daddy?
Yeah, I still think that it's my. I'm hoping my prediction range true. I still think that is the guy whose name still escapes me for some reason. But the dude we saw last episode who kept showing up as a hologram, who was also in
Oh
Discovery.
no.
I forget his
Oh,
name,
man.
but he even mentioned her last episode. He mentioned her. He talked about Genesis. He was like, "Oh, and don't forget about Genesis." And you got somebody on the. And I was like, "Oh, you said her name." You know what I'm saying? And they never refer to it. It gives me kind of like when. All right, I know I keep using TOS references, but when Spock first came with in the first season, which, as you know, and we'll talk about this in a second before we wrap up our Star Trek journeys. I learned that in one of the first episodes where we met Spock's parents, they came on as ambassadors. His dad is Sarek, which is one of the few continuities that has lasted through all of the lore. Like his dad is still Sarek in Discovery, so that's real cool. But we also meet his mom. But when they came onto the ship, they didn't talk to Spock. And Kirk was like, "Yo, can you help them? Whatever." And he was like, "I don't think that'd be a good idea, Captain." And he's like, "What's the problem, Kirk? Spock like." He's like, "Yo, well, what if these were your parents or something?" He was like, "Well, they are my parents." And it was like, commercial break. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, to see something like that happen, and now I'm seeing this kind of same like crazy stuff like still existing is kind of weird, but it just shows like parents, they have an impact on their kids' decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like Kirk's dad in the J.J. Abrams version was a captain. In fact, he was the captain of the ship that he was given birth on. And if you all remember, that was Chris Hemsworth, who played our modern day Thor, who was George Kirk. And yeah, so he always had to worry about that. And then Spock has Sarek. And so with this young lady having some issues with parental guidance and not necessarily wanting to fail, and it was kind of a theme in the show as well, because Durham had that same thing, like, yo, these are my people, and I also got to do the right thing for them and all that. So it was a classic Star Trek episode. And dare I say, if this was one of 26 episodes, I wouldn't trip. I'd be like, hey, this was educational. We were informed, but knowing that it's one of 10, you're like, oh my God, like, we're running out of time. Like, we only got like 3 more episodes. Like, what are we doing? Like, we don't have no time to. You can already see the cliffhanger season finale as they're gearing up for it. So I rest with that. So
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you this question?
Please.
How many more times are we gonna allow the captain to keep on making these fucking stupid decisions just because she wants to make Caleb happy? Like, she knew goddamn well Caleb wasn't supposed to be left there by his motherfucking self on the Starfleet with all talking about we're gonna give you access to this. She was like, like this nigga's running you. He's running you now. So now Caleb makes decisions based off of whatever he's like, I don't want to go nowhere. She's like, oh, fine, you stay here then. Look. Like that was, I'm leaving the keys to the kitchen and all